for some damn turkeys and chickens and some sneakers. You push death and destruction on our children for a living, and we're supposed to be okay with that because you dropped off some clothes and some turkeys. It's not acceptable. Until hip hop begins to be a blessing for the black community, hip hop is an agent of white supremacy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Conservative Poet with me, Amania. Just so happy that you're here today. In today's conversation, I want to talk about something that I don't really talk too much about because I'm not really in that space too much. Hip hop, and so the I again not really in the culture of it. So for me, it's rap music. And I'm sure people, it's like, oh, hip hop is one thing, rap music is another thing, the culture is another thing. I don't really know. All I know is that rap music and hip hop has really done Americans a real disservice, especially about how they disgracefully portray women, how all of the violence and the killings and the shootings and all of that, and it's just really bad for society. And so I came across a clip with a Dr. Umar, and he kind of laid it out beautifully. And from what I understand, right now, this year is the 50-year anniversary since the birth of hip hop. And so people are, praising it. And I actually remember there was an interview with Jay-Z and what's the woman? Gail, with Oprah's best friend, her. And so she had an interview with Jay-Z and all of this, glorifying him. Oh God, he's the king, he's great, he's all this. And nobody talked about, the violence and all of these things that comes out of this. I mean, it's really scary, but they don't talk about it all the cursing and the I mean, nobody talks about it. They're glorifying it as if it's a wonderful thing. Kamala Harris came out here, the vice president, Kamala Harris, come out here to praise all of this, and nobody talks about the truth of all this and what it does to people. I mean, they talk about killing each other all day, drugs and all of this. It's just terrible things. And but they come out here and they praise it as if it's good. So Dr. Umar came out here and he actually spoke truth. And we're going to look at some of that. And I'm hoping and praying that there's like no copyrights to this because I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube for using material out here, because I did a video recently and I I got a copyright on it, and I'm just like, I don't know, how to even do these things with. I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube, but I'm gonna take a shot and play this and do this and react to it. So if you're interested in seeing that, then let's go. Before we continue with the video, here's a brief word from the sponsor of our video. Thank you so much for your support. Save America, save our values, save our traditions. Stop using woke platforms to spend your money. Stop. This episode of The Conservative Poet is brought to you by Mammoth Nation. Mammoth Nation is a conservative marketplace where you, the patriot, can go and purchase the items that you need. Mammoth Nation is an online subscription-based platform. So you have to be subscribed in order to get all the wonderful discounts. You can get up to 70% discounts on so many of the stores. They have phone services, um, services for food, traveling, hotel. They refuse to let anti-American companies join their platforms. The vendors have been carefully vetted and have been approved a conservative American values, which is one of the reasons we have partnered, because I do love what they offer. I love that they are offering opportunities to American vendors and American creators as well. So we are trying to put America first here. And that's one of the things we do on this channel. And so I support Mammoth Nation and what they do to put conservative American businesses first. So visit Mammoth Nation today so you can get the discounts that you deserve with American made products. So use code Amania S, that's AMANIA-S. Again, that's Amania S for your discounts today on these amazing opportunities.
My biggest issue with all the rappers would be, when are y'all going to do more for the community? Because see, my issue is this. Right now, we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of hip hop. That's the big theme right now all over the country, all over the world. 50th anniversary of hip hop. We only got 60 days left in 2023. Do you mean to tell me we're going to let this year-long celebration go by and nobody's going to have a serious conversation about whether hip hop has actually been a benefit or not to the Black community? I haven't seen a conversation, a YouTube, a town hall meeting, a BET special. I don't see anybody talking about the ramifications, the negative impact that hip hop has had on the Black community. Now,
right off the bat, Dr. Umar here is hitting the hammer, is hitting the nail on the hammer. He is hitting it hard. 50 years, right, of this hip hop. What good has come out of that? How is the Black people better? What have they done? So already I'm excited to hear the rest of what Dr. Umar has to say. I hope you are too.
First thing the hip hop artist is going to say, I'm only rapping what I live. But you don't live it no more. The minute you start making money, you moved out the neighborhood. So why you still rapping about drugs and death when you don't live around that no more? That means you're a hypocrite. If you're telling me you're rapping what you live, you don't live it no more.
That is so true, because they've made their money. They're rapping about killing people, made them their money. And then they moved on to the suburbia. They've left the hood. They've left the ghetto, right? And they've moved on to better pastures. So you would think that they would be now rapping about their current situation, being that they're no longer out there in the streets clocking. They're no longer out there in the streets killing people. They're no longer out there in the streets doing these things. They're living a different dream right now. So why not talk about that? Why not? Yeah, you use that platform to get you where you at. So now that you're there, why are you just, you can't let it go? You've moved on physically with your money and your physical person, but your mentality is still there, and you're still, re-rhyming, reusing the same material that you lived before, because you're not living it now. Dr. Umar, I like that point.
And if you're so dedicated to telling the ghetto tale, why did you move out the neighborhood? Why do you send your kids to private schools? So you live in a white neighborhood, you send your kids to white private schools, you moved out the Black ghetto the minute you had enough money to do so, but yet you're telling me the reason you're still rapping about death, drugs, jail, and homicide is because that's the life you live. You don't live it no more. So for me, I'm looking at hip hop and I'm saying to myself, it is the most influential music genre in the world. 50 years, a multi-billion-dollar industry. And in 50 years, the hip hop community hasn't built a single relevant institution for the Black community anywhere.
absolute facts.
Think about that for a minute. Think about that. Look, Dr. King began his career with the Montgomery bus boycott in 1955. Dr. King was assassinated in 1968. That means Dr. King had 13 years. Look at what he did in 13 years. Let's go to the Black Panther Party. Black Panther Party was founded in 1966. The revolutionary phase of the Black Panther Party was pretty much over with by 1971. That's 5 or 6 years. And look what the Panthers did in 5 or 6 years. Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Marcus Garvey, showed up in New York in 1916. He's deported in 1927. 11 years. Hip hop has been around for 50 years. Not a single hospital, not a single school, not a single bank, not a single supermarket, not a single distribution company. How can we call hip hop a blessing to the Black community when that type of money being made off of our culture and the community doesn't benefit from it at all?
So, what he just said there, the community and the culture. So, hip hop is culture, and the culture is bad. It's not my culture. I don't associate with that. But I don't believe what he just said, that it doesn't sit well with me. The last part of what he just said, everything else is good. But the last part of what he just said there, that they're making money off of us and our culture. So this whole thing represents shooting people, killing people, drugs, alcohol, all of these horrific things. These are symptoms of something that's so wrong in the culture, but yet they're making so much money off those bad things that's in the culture. So that's not really the culture, as the way I'm understanding it. That's really not the culture. These are some really, really awful things in the culture, and people are making stupid money. They're wealthy, getting rich and wealthy off of these fundamental things that's wrong in the culture. And that's where I would, sort of pull away from him, is that, it's not our culture. It's some bad things that's in the culture. There could be good things out of this too, but the majority of it is not good. And I would not want to say that this is our culture.
So you come to the community and give out a few turkeys. You come to the community and give out a few pair of sneakers. You come to the community and you throw a couple parties. And in exchange for some damn turkeys and chickens and some sneakers, you push death and destruction on our children for a living. And we're supposed to be okay with that because you dropped off some clothes and some turkeys. It's not acceptable. Until hip hop begins to be a blessing for the Black community, hip hop is an agent of white supremacy.
Yeah, that turkey.
Woo! That last set right there, absolute facts, truths. Agent of white supremacy is what he's saying. So you are destroying your own community for the white supremacists. And as we all know, most of the true white supremacists comes from the Democrat Party. And so these people come out here and tell you to continue to vote for white supremacists like the current administration. And I mean, they're attacking you at every level, right? The political level, where they have these white supremacists in office, and then they have these agents of chaos who comes out here to cater to them and telling you that it's okay for you to vote for them. And then they tell you, okay, you can go and you shoot up your community, you kill your people, you do all of these destructive things, and you're okay with that. We're okay with that. Black on black violence, it's okay. We're okay with that. You can go out here and kill each other. We're okay with it. We're not even gonna prosecute. We're not even gonna look at these things because it's black people. And so you're destroying your own self. And so you have become an agent of the white supremacists because you are doing the work for them. They're just letting blacks destroy each other, destroy ourselves in the name of what? I don't know. And hip hop, rap music has been one of the biggest platforms that destroys the black people. And Mr. Dr. Umar, you are on point, my brother. You are on point. You are on point, man. But nobody else out here has the guts of the gumptions. Now, I don't know too much about Dr. Umar here, but I have listened to him before. I watched him on The Breakfast Club some time back. He did an episode with that some years ago. So I'm familiar with him, but I'm not really in there with him. I know he's like the Black Power type guy. He's that Africanist. I forget. I don't even know what they're called, but he's just pro Africa, not pro America. So, and me, I'm pro America. And so, because I think all of us here are Americans, and therefore, yes, we're black, but at the end of the day, we are Americans because this is where we are. This is our country, and this is who we are. Yes, we're black, but blackness doesn't cover the whole thing. Yeah, we're covered black, but it doesn't cover the whole landscape of who we are as people. So that's Dr. Umar. His whole thing is black power, black supremacy. I like the way he threw in white supremacy, but Dr. Umar, you are a black supremacist now. You black supremacist because you do believe that the blacks are better than other cultures. Other people of color, white, Asians, whoever colors. So he does believe that in black supremacy. But I mean, if you believe in black supremacy, then other people who are of different color than you, why shouldn't they believe that their race is supremacy because you believe your race is supremacy, right? And again, that's where, if you say, Asian supremacy or Chinese supremacy or these different people, like they say black and brown. So brown supremacy, white supremacy, black supremacy. Again, American supremacy is where I would like to go with this. Supremacy. But back to the culture conversation with Dr. Umar. I mean, he hit it right on point, and I want to actually read some of the comments from this video and also another video. I think I will more comments to hear what people are saying about this conversation. Again, 50 years of hip hop, and hip hop has done nothing.
Turkey stuff irritate me, bro. I'm sorry, man.
A turkey? A turkey? We don't need no more damn turkeys. And then the rapper will say, well, we didn't invent violence. You're right. You didn't invent violence. There was gang banging before hip hop. Okay. There was drug dealing before hip hop. There was black on black crime before hip hop. But let me tell you where hip hop is guilty. Hip hop glamorized it. Hip hop glorified it. Hip hop, how do you say you make it bigger than what it is? Hip hop put a spotlight on negative aspects of black culture. So no, you didn't create it, but music is a very influential art form. Your brain is controlled by what it hears and what it sees. So we all know people who was influenced by gangster rap. and decided to join a gang, decided to start drug dealing, started to gang bang. Because you got to remember, hip hop takes off at the end of the radical period of the Black Panther Party, the early 70s. You know why? Because you had all this passion, and young black males needed to take this passion and put it into something. Huey P. Newton just got out of jail. Bobby Seale just got out of jail. Black Liberation Army, some of them are going to jail. So you got all these young black men, but our leaders are being killed. Our activists are being killed. Our revolutionaries are being locked up. But you got this passion. We ain't got the guts to go to the streets. We don't want to get involved in the liberation fight, but we want to do something. So let's create some revolutionary black music. And that was part of the motivation for hip hop. The problem was that after a couple years, the white power structure saw how they could use and exploit hip hop to destroy the image of the black male. And that's when they introduced gangster rap into hip hop. And gangster rap has been dominating hip hop ever since the mid 80s. And ain't nobody saying nothing about it. And ain't nobody doing anything about it as well. Hip hop was supposed to be musical revolutionary music. And it was for a period of time. When you had your Public Enemy, your Most Def, when you had your Conscious Rapper, your KRS-One, your Boogie Down Productions, your Poor Righteous Teachers, your X-Clan, your Queen Latifah, you had it. But once that gangster rap came and the brothers in the city saw that I could sell 1 million records with no radio play and talk about sex, drugs, and this and that, they ran right to it. And so the rapper and the athlete became the role model in the 80s, because that's right around the time that professional black men started benefiting from affirmative action and civil rights set-asides and white college scholarships. And what did they do when they came home from college? They moved to the white suburb. So black professional men abandoned black boys, so they automatically turned to the athletes and the gangster rappers. And that's where we are right now. The role models are the athletes and the gangster rappers. Two populations of black males who ain't thinking about doing nothing for the inner city.
There go Dr. Umar. Dr. Umar dropped a whole lot of facts. But I really want us to look at the comments from this video. So let us do that. This video came out about 8 days ago, and we'll just read some of these. So here's what they say. One person says, yep, very nice. Gangster rap took off. Our generation have been getting more demonic and dumber. Yep. That's what they do. It's a good one right there. Sad but true, rap has a huge contribution to the downfall in our society. Young children need to hear this man. He need millions in attention. That's right, he does, because people, they don't talk about these things. They just glorify these rappers as if they are gods and kings. Here is a one. It says, finally, someone using the social media platform to have a hard conversation. I'm so happy to hear this. I'm tired of being the only black person in a room saying this out loud. Why are we so afraid to address reality? Yeah, people don't want to live in reality. They want to live in cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs land because it's much nicer there. You know, these hard truths, nobody wants to talk about these things. And she goes on to say, let's stop pointing fingers, clean up our mess, restore our communities, stick together, and the rest will take care of itself. But, yeah, you're right. If we could come together and do the work, then yeah, we could get better. But black folks just don't come together. We're at each other's throats. They don't come together. And he says, somebody else says here, Jimmy Levine, I don't know who that is, and Interscope Records have a lot to answer for. In the 1990s, they used Dr. They use Dre, Snoop, and Death Row to market and promote LA gang culture to the world, to the point where Crips and Bloods were popping up in the Netherlands, in the UK, because of the music. Wow, right? This thing has traveled beyond the American shores into foreign countries. I mean, it's when you listen to it, it's like when you're listening to it and you're putting these things in your mind, yeah, you're gonna want to live it out. You're gonna want to do it. It's just like these video games. People are killing people in these video games, and guess what? They come out here and they shoot people for real. It's what you're seeing and what you're hearing and what you're putting into you, and then you want to act those out in the real world. And so yeah, I'm not surprised that people overseas who listen to this crap are showcasing it in their countries, because again, it's the mind. So it goes to show you it can happen to any culture, because again, it's what you're listening to, what you're putting into you. So just like that, the reverse can happen too. So if we start to remove these musics, if we start to remove these things from people's visuals and their listening to these things, and what we put in is good things, then maybe good things will start to ricochet, and people will pick those up as well. So what you put in, it all depends on what you put in. If you put good in, you're going to put good out. If you put bad in, you're going to put bad out. And that's what the black community has been doing. This hip hop rap, gangster rap, whatever you call it, it's been a curse. It's been a poison. It's just been horrific. It's a cancer. That's the word I was looking for. It's a cancer. And it can be treated. And it can be treated out of the black culture. This is what's happened to black people. This culture has turned blacks into, I don't even know. It's like when you out here and you see it, I'm just like, man, it's just so downright embarrassing. I made a video not too long ago about embarrassed to be black because of all this, because of the culture, because of what people are doing. It's embarrassing. I didn't finish this guy's quote. Netherlands. Now fast forward 20 years, and now they've done the same with Chicago gang culture. They signed Chief Keef and promoted drill music to the world, which has clearly caused an increase in gang violence. Chicago, right? Look at Chicago. They got shootings every weekend. Every weekend, what we doing? We shooting up the place in Chicago. It's a disgrace. Anyone who says music doesn't influence young people and perpetuate more of the same behavior is ignorant as hell or in denial. They are in denial, they are ignorant, but most of all, the people who are making the music, they are hip to the game, as they would say in the culture. They are hip to the game. They know what they're doing, but they don't care, because what? They got to grab their money bag, right? They got to grab their guac, right? They got to get their money, right? And he goes on to say, gangster rap, drill music is poisoning and corrupting the minds of the youth without a doubt. Hats off to you, man. That was a great one, and you gave me even more content to spill out of me on that, so that was great. And here's a short one. Man, rappers are afraid to lose their money and material gain, so they have become easy to control. That's right, they are easy to control. You know, thinking about Kanye West right now, and how he's come against things, and how he's talked about things, and you know, they turn against him. Why? Because he's got his own mind. These other rappers, if they had come alongside their brother, you know, their brother in the trenches, their fellow rapper brother Kanye, if they come alongside him and say, yeah, Kanye is right about this, Kanye is right about that, Kanye is telling the truth about this, and they stood up and they said, yeah, you know, we believe in capitalism too, we know we about our money, but they don't have any spine, they don't have any backbone, because they create the blueprint to continue to make money. And these young artists, they're following the blueprint, right? They're following the ones that came before them, the other gangster rappers. Look at this guy, Jay-Z. Look at where he's at. Look at how wealthy he's become on this. It's a disgrace. He's building his own thing. What's he built in the black community? I don't really know. I don't know what he's really done with all of the influence he has. Oh, I know he sang at didn't he do something with Barack Obama? That's they're influencing the culture. I don't want to get into that rabbit hole. Anyway, this one says, I salute Dr. Umar for speaking and then telling the God's honest truth about our black culture. And this one says, I'm 26 and I've been feeling the same way my whole life. It makes zero sense to me how rap music is celebrated and pushed on the kids. If I can find that Kamala, I actually didn't even watch it, whatever she came out here to say, Kamala Harris, we're embracing the black culture. We're promoting the black culture, the rap scene, the hip hop. You know, that fool raging on and rapping on about nothing about the black culture. Talk about how people are being influenced by that. Talk about how black kids are killing each other. Talk about what happens in Chicago every weekend. Talk about these smash and grabs that's happening all over the country. Talk about that. That's all about the culture. Gosh, she is such a fail, a disgrace. Any event, where we are now, another one. This is music to my ears. Glory to God. I've been saying this for over 18 years. When I told my homeboys that I boycotted rap, they were like, what? And when I began to explain why I was saying that rappers are worse than the KKK, we had some very interesting conversations. Salute to Mr. Johnson. Yo, this guy just hit the point right there. They are worse than the white supremacist KKK. And again, as we all know, the Democrat Party is our white supremacist KKK. But now they have agents, blackface, black people to do their bidding for them. They are really worse than the KKK. At least the KKK has their values, right? Blacks who do this to their own people is worse. What's the word of the day? Vermin. Blacks who do this to their own people, and we're talking these black rappers, these black artists, these black gangbangers, all this, who do this to their people, these black politicians, these Democrat black politicians, they are worse than the KKK. They are the vermins. That's the word, vermin. They are worse to do it to your own people when you know. Worse. And I'm thinking now, Barack Obama, worse. What did he do for the black people? Black president, 8 years, ain't done nothing except divide. Thanks, brother. That was a good comment there. That was at Modwis12. That was a good one. When these rappers sign these contracts, they agree to promote degeneracy to our young people. They are not innocent. They are very much complicit, and we need to hold them accountable. Yeah, you hold them accountable. They come out here, yo, man, yeah, I'm all about my money bag, man. I'm all about my guac, B. I'm all about my guac cheddar, man. That's what I'm about. I'm about my cheddar, man. I can give two about these people. I'm trying to make my money. I'm trying to go here. I'm trying to get my records. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. All on top of your black ass. all on top of your black ass. This one says the rappers don't care. They just want to earn money and tell their buyers how broke they are. Driving Lamborghinis, they got their gold guac teeth, but they broke, right? They still out here hustling in the street, right? Yo, they are a disgrace. I don't know. I think I'm going to end it here with all of these. But all these comments are so amazing. This one says, I'm in Australia. I grew up lower middle class, and hip hop literally led me down the path towards street and prison. I had no reference point for any of it until I discovered gangster rap and rappers flaunting wealth, and it's still affecting this generation now. I'm 38. Wow, it's the worst thing that could have happened to black people. I'm telling you, it's the worst thing, and they push it every day. And man, we didn't even touch on how they display women in all of this. We haven't even touched on that. That would be another video for another day. But right now we're talking about this part of it. So many, a lot of them, and they said he spoke nothing but facts. Thanks to keeping it 100, Dr. Umar. I would say Dr. Umar kept it a million, okay? He kept it a million or a billion or a trillion, not even 100. He kept it a trillion because that was straight facts. All right, I think I'm going to stop with this, but it's wonderful. So, you saw that people are really talking about this, having that conversation. I wish I would see more videos. I wish I would see this clip of Dr. Umar talking about this. I want to see it in more channels. And again, I'm hoping and praying that YouTube doesn't give me no copyright strikes or anything like this for this content. I can't get in trouble with YouTube again. I can't get in trouble. I'm trying. I can't get in trouble with them anymore because I don't want them to do anything to my channel. But I'm hoping that it was okay to use this content, and I'm hoping to see more of it out there, people talking about it. Now, the reason why I saw this and knew about this content was because of the Karen Hunter show. And they briefly played a clip of it, and she had Kevin Powell on her show to discuss, what Dr. Umar said, only a little bit of what he said. And so I went hunting on YouTube to find the original, which is what we just looked at. But in her video, they portrayed Dr. Umar as if he had no sense. He says, they said, you don't understand hip hop. You don't understand that there's hip hop the music, and then there's hip hop the culture. And so what you're talking about, Dr. Umar, you don't know what you're talking about. Is how her and her guests portrayed it. And then he says, I wonder if he's even a doctor. Throwing the man as if he's an ignorant man. That man made more sense than anybody. And he says, I come from I worked for Vibe magazine, and I worked I've been an activist, I've been on the ground, I've been doing this and I've been doing that, and I've written books, and I'm all this. But Dr. Umar, can we even call him a doctor? I mean, these people are, and again, when you come across people who has sold out, I don't see how anybody can come out here and criticize that man for what he says. I can't understand how anybody could come out here and criticize what Dr. Umar said.